is the water hyacinth. And it's worse because this can actually reproduce itself every single day, once a day. And if you look at these very fat stems, these are cells that are filled with water, and that's what helps it to float. But the worst thing of all with this plant is that it completely sucks all the sucks all the oxygen out of the water, and so it kills the fish underneath. So we really try to keep this down to a small number of plants in here to demonstrate to people. It's from the Amazon, but it has accidentally been introduced into Africa and Asia, and is completely taking over the waterways there. But in India, they've been very, very clever. They've discovered they can actually make paper and furniture from this. So they now have a sustainable industry, which they're earning money from, and at the same time cleaning and clearing the waterways. In the corners, if you do come back later in the year, in each of the corners we then start growing climbers. One, we grow goods, loofahs. So if the children, have got a loofah in the bathroom at home, we grow loofahs. We grow a plant called Momordica, which is a sort of a long green banana, which is very, very wrinkly. That's a very interesting plant because they're looking into that now as a possible treatment for diabetes.
I always thought loofahs came from under the sea. I didn't know they were
No. They're a hanging good.
Oh, well.
Now, this one again I generally point out to the older children, but these are plants that live in association with ants.
Right.
So this is able to describe symbiosis. Can you see the hole there?
Yeah.
That's that one, and then you see the little holes on that one up there.
Yeah.
Little tiny red ants live in there. That one has channels inside.
Right.
Now, both plants, you can see these lumps. Both plant on there, these lumps. These lumps actually produce a fatty material, which is the ants' food. You can see two there, look really clearly. And the ants eat those. So the plant is giving the ants a home and food.
Oh.
When an animal comes along, whether it's a zebra, giraffe, whatever, starts to eat the leaves, the ants rush out and bite its lips, protect their home from being destroyed. So you have this mutually beneficial relationship. And here, if I just move up so you can see that fern base looks very spotty. That's another one. The ants live inside there as well. Oh yes, you can see here that this is a catfish.
Oh, yeah.
You just see that line. They're getting bigger and bigger. I think we're going to have to do something about that quite soon.
I can see lots of smaller ones.
If you come in very early in the mornings and they throw the food in, you can see the catfish, actually, its mouth is right on its underneath. So the only way they can eat is to actually swim upside down. So all you get to see in the early morning are this pair of Mick Jagger lips, sucking on the top of the water.
I can see another one there with big eyes on the side.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, the kids get really excited about this. Plants are finished at this point.
They're just hyper to be out of the class as well.
So, absolutely.
It's the thought of we're not sitting down,
and we're looking at stuff. And if you do have children with any problems, autism or whatever, they relate to this sort of thing really, really well. Actually, these were initially intended for all the plants in each one. That's the water plants of Madagascar, Southeast Asia. But of course, nobody's interested in the water plants in those areas. It's much more the fish that they care about. Now, we have a look in it, but it is just fun to show you exactly in this side of the house, with the very small children, because this, it can be very, very dull. So you've got to really look very, very carefully, because we have a little nest of dinosaur eggs, and we have some dinosaur footprints. You have to look really carefully for them, because not all dinosaurs were big. So you have to look really carefully. So in there you have concrete dinosaur eggs, and then we've hidden the footprints quite well. But they get so excited about that. It is a bit naughty, but it just takes their mind away from thinking, oh, I'm bored. is pepper, as in
Oh,
salt
is
and
it?
pepper from India.
Wow.
Believe it or not, that's the flower. That's about as
Right.
exciting as it gets.
Oh, right.
But ours never ever produce the seed pods ever. We just don't have what India has.
Yeah.
Behind you is the sugar cane.
Oh, right.
And again, I'm afraid ours is not really very good. It should be growing in water. We just don't have. We couldn't put it in the pond because it would fill the pond up so quickly. It would be dreadful. So we have to just grow it this way. This is an interesting one at the moment. We have this because it was given to us by the University of Glasgow because they're researching this at the moment from India and Sri Lanka. Neem contains a insecticide which only affects insects. And in Sri Lanka for centuries they've used this on their crops.
Right.
And they can spray their crops, they'll gunge up all the leaves and then spray it on their food crops. And they can eat the food crops without being harmed by it at all,
Right.
because it only harms insects.
Oh, right.
And so that kills the insects, but it doesn't harm the people in any way.
I'm sure that they get soaps or something with that in it. Or maybe
Quite
it's not.
possibly.
Yeah, I thought
The
I'd seen-
university is researching it because they're actually looking to make a material that can be included in potting compost,
Right.
so that you don't get the pests on the roots of your plants. This is one of those very, very unusual. As I say, there's only 3 spices that come out of the New World. All the hallucinogenic drugs come out of the New World, but only 3 spices come out of the New World. Allspice, you might have heard of allspice. A lot of people think that it's actually a mix of different spices. It's not actually, it's this plant. Now, believe it or not, smell that leaf.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Oh, have a sniff of that.
That's lovely.
Yes,
That's very lemony, isn't it?
it is.
Highly scented leaf. And actually, it's a very interesting story that the Russian soldiers, when it was brought over, the Russian soldiers liked the smell of it so much they actually put it in their socks to keep their feet warm during war.
Interesting.
Well, unless you want to keep it in your pocket.
I'll
we
keep
can
it in
have-
my pocket. Yeah.
No, why not? Now, I don't believe it. People have been cutting the fruits of this off as well.
Oh, I can see a wee.
What is wrong
Jack.
with people? Why do they do that? Yeah, I've got one over here. You can see the fruit up there, the nonny. This is actually a very famous fruit. It will get much bigger than this. The Polynesians regard this almost as sacred because it treats so many problems, health problems. And it's known as a canoe plant. When they went from Polynesia all the way up to Hawaii, all the way down to New Zealand and colonised these places, they took just a small number of plants with them from the islands. And wherever they went, they always took noni with them because it's got so many health uses. The problem is, when that does get bigger and ripe, it smells like really, really overripe camembert.
Oh,
You see a picture of it, sort of, that it's vile. I've only ever smelt it once, and it's absolutely repulsive. This is from India, and this makes a lady's perfume.
Oh, yeah.
Try that one.
Let's see.
You've got to rub it. You've got to break the cells open and to rub it to. It's quite subtle. Can you not?
Is it like vetiver?
See if I can find you a better one. I don't know.
Maybe I'm being too gentle with it.
You really got to break it up, and it's actually quite subtle. It's not very strong.
Yes, I can smell it.
Oh, yeah, kind of
Yes, it
peppery.
And it has to, be, all perfumes, of course, have to go through a process. But it's interesting that in hot countries, the perfume that the women wear are much more subtle. Because if you sweat a lot, you're going to be pushing that smell out. So if they wore, like we do, quite strong smells, I don't know, lavender or whatever, that really knocks you out. So you don't want to be walking around, people going, oh, God, smell that.
Put you to sleep.